And now I would like to give the floor to my fellow colleague, Sesili, who will be giving you an overview about how solutions mapping has been implemented in action. Sesili, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me well. If you'll enable the screen sharing function, I'll share a few slides for the visual demonstration of the solutions that we've gathered over the year. ECLEP Georgia is also quite new. We started in March, but we were able to gather quite a few solutions over this year. And to some extent, we decided to change the way we find these solutions. Because of the pandemic, we were not able to go out in the field and look for the solutions ourselves. So we decided that perhaps another way to find these solutions is to ask people to submit them to the UNDP Accelerator Lab. And so our first ever solution safari was organized around the theme of COVID-19 and how the what are the solutions that the COVID-19 brought to the world, to say so, and how Georgians reacted to the COVID-19 problems, and what were the solutions that they developed to ease the burden of the COVID-19 pandemic. So all of this was to some extent transferred into the new model of solutions mapping that we decided to gather under the umbrella of Museum of Georgian Inventions, because sometimes nations don't, and people don't think that they are innovators just because they use some regular daily things that they don't perceive as innovations. But to some extent, these are small inventions made by ordinary people. There were some high-tech solutions as well, like a sterilizing cabin that you can put in front of the factories and people go through it and it sterilizes clothing and all the items. We also had like cooking festivals that used to be organized in a physical space, but they were transferred into the online challenge. And this is how the rose-shaped cookies and cakes were made. There were agricultural approaches where the farmer was connected to the workforce through the social media as well as different platforms. Because of the pandemic, people couldn't go out to search for the workforce. So there were quite a few interesting solutions that we've identified. And out of this, we listed two winners. So one is the MIS mask, which is the face mask that uses the UV light to sterilize the inflowing air that is going into the mask. It is a rechargeable mask with a protection of N99, and it's being currently tested in several hospitals in Georgia. And will have the further production. And second winner was the inclusive dances that was tailored especially for the people with disabilities, because they were the most vulnerable amongst us during the pandemic because of the lockdowns, because of the lack of social interaction and lack of ability to engage in different activities. So this virtual online model of inclusive dances was selected as a second winner. So this was in short what I wanted to say, and sometimes we don't always perceive our everyday things and everyday solutions as an inventions, but most of them are inventions, and we, all of the nations, we need to think of ourselves as innovators, as inventors, to ease the burden of our everyday lives. So thanks a lot for this opportunity to participate in the launch event of Saudi Arabia Accelerator Lab. And now I would like to hand over to Abdurrahman for the continuation of the event. Thanks a lot.